Open up to questions for Bruce. Please wait for the mic. State your name, affiliation. We'll take two off the top from Chris.
Yeah, hey, Bruce. Hey, Bruce. Chris Chapman, Fox Sports Las Vegas, post-game show. We found out about 30 minutes before the game that Victor Olofsson was going to be out, but Blasinski gets the call. He scores early. Just how big of a boost is that? And maybe how difficult is it for a guy who finds out on such short notice to come in and provide that spark for you early on?
Yeah, we had an idea this morning. You don't know. You're going to give it the afternoon. Sometimes players feel better. They wake up, they're not good, and they kind of have their nap in the afternoon and still are not good. That's what happened with Victor. I think he would have loved to play this game, but we got to be careful too if it's a viral thing around the guys, etc. So Lasinski knew that he was on kind of call, that he may have to go in. So at least we go through the preparation part. Big goal for him. Happy for him, right? Different guys are contributing for us, especially in this run. So, and he got it going to the net. Wasn't lucky. It was a good play. Good play all around. Whitey to follow it up and then get it to the net. And so happy for him. Victor, hopefully, it's a short-term thing. We won't know again. We're off tomorrow, so that's good. Get guys away from the rink, and hopefully it doesn't go through, nothing that would go through the team or affect other guys in the locker room.
Your defense or your blue line is top 5 in the league in scoring. Noah Hannafin kind of mentioned that the transition and the rush for you guys has been a big difference, but what have you seen between this year and last year that's made a difference for your blue line just scoring as many points as they have?
It's a good question because I think it's a lot of the same guys. So maybe they're just been encouraged a little more to get up. Maybe last year we were not going as well, so we're more focused on defense. I'd have to kind of peel back some layers in my brain here to figure out where we were last year at this time exactly in our team kind of state. I feel right now that our blue line has continuity and has for a while now. They're the same 6 guys every night, same pairs. It's pretty clear understanding of what they can do and their abilities and what they can get away with and how they can create offense. We've tried to build more offensive zone play, like that spacing that involves all 5 guys, and maybe that's helped them with the rush part too. But we do want them up the ice on their toes. They can. That's something Hanny's always been able to do. Theo, I think Naber's numbers are actually down a little bit this year from last year. Petro's a guy that'll get up now. We're encouraging Whitey. I think Whitey is skating better, a little bit ahead of last year. I believe it was Whitey that got hurt early, right, in Colorado in preseason. I think it took him a while to catch up because he was always at the part of the season where other guys were ahead of him, and eventually he did. But so maybe that has something to do with it. What's available to us off the rush, focusing more on turning up. If the deep drive's not there where we can get it to the net and looking for the second wave of attack, we've focused on that a little more, but not to the point like of hammering down their throats. But it is an area that we discussed this summer. How can we get more offense? Ozone play, using the D off the rush, and increasing our numbers in the power play. And I think we've been able to do a little bit of each.
Danny, then Paul.
Bruce, Danny Webster, Las Vegas Review-Journal. You talked this morning about the second period. Wasn't really sure why. Maybe the plus-minus differential wasn't adding up. But how important was it to not only go into the second with that lead, but to shut the door on them as well as they did?
Yeah, I was happy with our second period. They got a very mobile D, and they stretch you out, right? So they could be dangerous if your line changes aren't sharp. If your D awareness isn't good, they can get behind you, and they tried it a few times. But we were on our toes, and some of that is managing it. When you give it up, we're hanging on to it in the ozone. But I like the fact that it was lower event opportunities for them. I think they had some looks, but a lot of them were off net, and they weren't on those stretch plays. There was a power play opportunity where I think they had a few off net shots and a seam later on. But yeah, that was good. Where they had their push was start of the third. Thought we handled that well, and then late in the game, obviously, we got into a bit of penalty trouble, took our foot off the gas. But for the most part, that's late in the game, and you expect when the goalie's out, they'll have some action. So, and then it becomes a 6-on-4. So second period was really good in terms of not allowing. And we there was, we use recent history, right? Montreal, Philadelphia, this game, right? Montreal gets away from us because we let them off the mat late in the second. Philly, we did not. Tonight, I thought we did not as well. So going in the right direction in that regard.
Hey, Bruce. Paul De Los Santos, NHL.com. Tanner Pearson was called reliable by Jack Eichel. What does he offer that top line that others like Ivan and Pavel and Victor don't offer?
Well, I wouldn't say don't offer. I think they're all different. Like Barbie, Pierce is probably closer to Barbie than the other. He has a bigger body. He's good on the walls, not blazing speed, but good IQ and good enough composure to get pucks off, like the goal, right? And it was in the O zone, but Barbie does that in all three zones. But that's where Olofsson and Pav still need work. They're not as heavy on the walls. So that, I would say that's been his calling card in the league now since he's found himself in the league. He can finish plays. He was a scoring winger in junior, did it in Manchester, and obviously production in LA, but he's always been a bigger guy and good on the walls, and that's the area where he's close to Barbie. So that's one of the reasons we made the switch the other night, and when Ole wasn't available tonight, put him there as opposed to Pav. We have used Pav, and Pav will get better at that. He's just younger. He's just not as far advanced in his career. Ole's a different player. I just don't think his wall, he's not as big as those guys. You can't use his body as well against bigger defensemen. That's just physics. So that's where Tanner's good, has good enough hockey IQ to know when to give it up to the middle. I would give it up to Jack whenever he's open personally, and then get open. And I think guys are starting to figure that out, and it's what's really made them complementary pieces, because he's going to look for you again. He's that type of player, and we saw it with the goal to Stoney and quite a few goals this year.
We'll take two more. Alan and Alex.
Hey, Bruce. The team's always had a hallmark of having depth, and I'm just kind of curious if you can expand a little on the role of Tanner Lazinski and players like him in the lineup who, you're going to have to count on, if you want to go deep in the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, he had a shot in Philly a number of years ago. I don't know exactly when. I know that was his history. He's been good down in Henderson, so we're trying to reward him and play him in a position. Tonight, I thought at least, okay, he's in the middle. He's got Howie, who's played some center, can help him with the face-offs, knows the D-zone very well, and Coley was a very responsible player. So it's probably not a bad NHL line for him to. He's got two really responsible players that have also brought offense this year. So I thought that would be good for him. We haven't always been able to get him in the ideal spot. That's hockey. Sometimes you gotta figure it out and play and do your best, so to speak, with the hand you're dealt. And tonight I thought his hand was a good one for him, and they played well. So as for the depth going deep, yes, you need depth at each position. Usually you run into injuries. If you're fortunate not to, well, then that usually contributes to a good run. But in my experience, usually you're going to have to call on guys and trust them. Okay, they might not be 15 to 20-minute players, but they're going to have to play and be able to do their job. And tonight I thought that was a good part of Schwinn's line as well. They took some D-zone draws. We weren't worried about taking them off the ice. I thought they handled that pretty good. They have to be able to get a little more O-zone possession, and just so they're not always defending, I think that'll be the next step for them. That's the hallmark of a real good kind of bottom of the lineup line, where they can wear the other team out, frustrate their D by hanging on to pucks in the O-zone. And I think Tanner with Howie and Coley were able to do that. We'll hopefully build that into Schwinn's line too.
Hi, Coach. Alex Eshelman with Channel 13. A question that's not necessarily, or I guess it goes beyond the game, but it was law enforcement appreciation night. How do the men and women who fight for our community every day inspire you guys on the ice?
Yeah, well, listen, we have families, and we look to those people that, in a time of need to take care of us, and when that's required. So I have the utmost respect for them. I hope they enjoyed their night. I'm glad we were able to, put out a good performance for them, and got lots of friends in that line of work. So to all of them, thank you, and to all the ones here locally in Nevada and Las Vegas.
Thanks, Bruce.
Thank you.